I can't. ESPN's FPI has done it again. The second that we say that ESPN has rigged this machine to somehow help the rest of the country, and it's not the Big 12, it's not the Big 10, it's not even the ACC and Clemson and Florida State, it's just the SEC. The more we are proven correct in saying that when they do moves like this. Missouri, JT, 16 Big 12 teams were in ESPN's top 20 toughest schedules in the country. In their strength of schedule metric for this season, 16 of 16 big SEC teams were in the top 20. Missouri, who is 20th in the country, 8 home games. They play 0 college football playoff teams. Alabama is in that. They weren't a college football playoff team. They have a non-conference slate that only includes Kansas as a remotely good team. And they were 20th in strength of schedule, 8 home games. And now this. ESPN's FPI, following a loss, Texas is number 1. The University of Texas Longhorns. It was Brett McMurphy posted a great joke, I thought, after Texas lost the game. It was like, well, it is the most quality loss in the country. Texas should stay number 1, right, guys? And his sarcasm turned into reality. ESPN is broken.
I mean, what are we doing? Like you said, like, why is Georgia at 2? Like, why they beat Marshall? And I know this factors in some other stuff, but just like you said, Drake, some of this stuff gets so infuriating. Also, I was just irritated by all these preseason AP polls that didn't have any Big 12 team in the top 10 when, like, year after year, say what you want about the Big 12, they almost always have a team that finishes in the top 10. We saw ASU nearly beat Texas last year, yet we come back around and it's like, oh, I think this team will be good. This team will be good. Like, yes, Tennessee played better than I thought they would against Syracuse, but Syracuse also lost everything. Like, let's wait and see how that's all going to go. Can I see Gunnar Stockton against some of the best teams in even that conference to see how they're going to do, right? Ole Miss. I mean, I still have massive questions about Ole Miss and Austin Simmons, and they have some good things going for them. USC all the way up there too. It's frustrating. I love that Utah is on there. Of course, I would have Utah over BYU on there, but hey, I'm just happy we get some Big 12 teams on there, but no one in the top 15 even. Like you said, Drake, it's just frustrating. It's the same old song and dance. Some of these teams on here are totally going to fall out to me too. Like these teams, not just for playing each other, like a Notre Dame, Miami, but like we get Notre Dame, Miami, Notre Dame and A&M play each other again soon. We get USC is going to take on a bunch of these teams. So some of these teams are going to drop out. And like
why? Hold on. Why is USC number 6?
I don't even know, man. I actually think USC could be solid this year, but I think having them at 6 is wild. Like, I think USC could be a top 25 team. I don't think they're 6. Like, 6 is crazy considering what happened to that team and that program last year.
And if we just ranked these teams based off their best wins, we would have Ohio State at 1. Florida State's probably in the top 10. And you start to say, well, it's kind of a broken system. Should Florida State be in the top 10 right now? Maybe, maybe not. But also, if we just give you the teams that have proven themselves the most over the course of the first 2 weeks of the season, those are the teams deserving to be in the top 10. Now, they could lose their way out, but I don't know how Arizona State's not on this list. Because if the case you're making is, well, it's based on your results last year and who you brought back in your preseason rankings, then how is Arizona State not on the list? But Alabama is at 13, and Florida State is also not in the top 25 at ESPN's FPI. It's a broken algorithm that does not make sense, that weights fake things. We think we know about college football before the ball is kicked off. We think we know Florida State will get blown out by Alabama, but the second Florida State wins, the computer can't readjust itself. Like, we all have told the computer, hey, we need you, based on what's happened in the last 10 years, to really hone in on Alabama. And they've dropped to 13. And Florida State's nowhere to be seen in the top 25. And I don't understand. Kansas, I like Kansas. They were bad last season, 5-7. They don't have a quality win this season, Fresno State, which looks better after their win against Georgia Southern, and then Kansas beat Wagner. But they're at 25. And there are still Big 12 schools that we don't see on this list that probably have a fighter's chance and deserve to be up there. And then BYU even at 17 and Utah at 19. I would struggle right now, transparently, to put BYU above Utah. Yeah, BYU looked incredible against Portland State. Utah looked incredible on the road against UCLA. Those two things are not similar. That's objective. Utah should be higher in the Big 12 right now. And this could change in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's fine. But as it sits right now, I do not get how we're at this conclusion unless you're solely looking at the offseason being heavily weighted by what the FPI does.
Why is Michigan over Iowa State? a Michigan team that struggled against New Mexico.
Didn't Ohio State just beat the number one team in the country?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's some of the stuff like that where you just look at this list, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't comprehend. And it's like our Auburn's all the way up to 16 now. Like you said, Drake, it feels like we're changing all these metrics and weighing all these different things. I just don't like how we're trying to take the games off the field and what happens. And instead, like it gets into a popularity contest. That's what I feel like in some ways that ESPN and some of their analysts have tried to make college football of. Well, like some people, I feel like last year, I still hear people talking about like, oh, well, what happened to the first round last year? It's like, what happened when Tennessee went up to Ohio State? Like, I thought the takeaway from the first week is how hard it is to win on the road in a playoff atmosphere after a bye. Like you have a week off basically too. I thought that was the takeaway. Not all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, SMU, Indiana, they didn't belong. Like that wasn't the takeaway to me. It was like those teams deserve to be there. And if those games were at neutral sites, they would have been way better. I mean, Indiana, they gave up that big run earlier. It was an interception. That game could have been different. SMU is another team where their defense was very good. It was just Jennings sold the game. He had a rough go. To me, the reason I bring those teams up is those are the cases of the Big 12 because those teams, those programs were counted out last year. That's what all the Big 12 teams are going to be as they slowly trickle up the rankings slowly but surely. They're going to be counted out, and it's just so frustrating that you have to continue to fight this battle against the hypotheticals and these teams that haven't even really shown like what they can do. As we talked about, like Ole Miss, I mean, they have so much to replace. Jackson Dart looked pretty good in the preseason. Like he's not there. Tennessee still has to show it to me that without Nico and and they lost a lot too, just even outside of him, right? So this is so frustrating. The fact that Texas is still at 1, some of the Texas hype was out of control. Didn't Feinbaum say he was like the best QB since Tebow?
It was awesome. Feinbaum was all over like Clemson, Texas. Feinbaum had a really bad day.
And then Texas, I think the stat was like they're the first ever preseason AP number 1 team since the last time Texas was number 1 to get shut out in their first game of the season. Like that's what we're dealing with a little bit here. And yet they're still we watched that game yesterday and we're like, yep, still number 1. It's maddening, Drake. And that's where you just got to really hope that the committee, they got it right when they put SMU in. If there's a couple Big 12 teams in that similar spot, I just hope that they get it right and don't try to throw Michigan in just because of that M.
You know, it's kind of sad. But it makes me realize we do need humans in the room. We can't trust the computer. We have to have the human. And it makes me almost
humans are doing stuff to those computers too. That's part of the problem, right?
Yeah. Well, the BCS looks better and better every year, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Just that algorithm, something about the BCS algorithm, and it didn't release until week 10 or whatever it was. It looks better and better every week. You go, wow. By and large, they kind of got a lot right compared to FPI or Torvik or Massey or even the human committee. Looking back, we got our national champion most years. I think we saw the national champion most seasons. You could argue that with Ohio State in 2014, kind of breaking that mold. But yeah, I think FPI, we can kill it with fire and burn it and everything. JT Wester, so where can folks find more of your work?
You guys can head over to Locked On Utes on YouTube Monday through Friday, as well as on X at Locked On Utes at JT Wistersill, talking all things Utes and all things Drake's new favorite player in the Big 12, Devin Dampier.
I love him. He's good, and I do love him. Brand new look, Locked On Big 12, the rebrand this week. Go with a little more conference affiliation, the black and white as the conference moves, as does our show. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thank you for making our shows your first listen every single day. It's a crossover with Utes and Dose Grande.